Hello friends, this is from DynePass. Today we are going to study I think it's more of a review thing of the cell injury. Today we are going to complete it. So trying to be more energetic, I will try to recap this, okay? So I think we have read about necrosis, apoptosis, isn't it? Today we have one line definition for something. There are two more definitions in your, sometimes you tackle around in the books. That is pyroptosis. So what is pyroptosis? Pyroptosis means pyro. Once the pyro word comes into your mind, guys, once the pyro comes in the brain, okay, this pyro should be converted to pro. Pro, not pro that, pro-inflammatory. It's a pro-inflammatory. See what words I will be using. PP death, pro-inflammatory programmed cell death. Pro-inflammatory programmed cell death. Remember which caspase is involved in pyroptosis? Caspase 1. Caspase 1. In pyroptosis, caspase 1 should be remembered. Caspase 1 should be remembered. Okay. So same caspase was not found in the apoptosis. Okay. So caspase 1 should be remembered in pyroptosis. That's first concept. Now, what will happen is once you have, it has been known that pyroptosis is important in the immunity, is important to prevent from mycobacterial infection, not mycobacterial, actually microbial infection that can be has been seen in various diseases such as salmonella, shigella, legionella, isn't it? I have taught you last time. I think did I teach you Candida albicans in micro? If you want, I can give you a microbiological association. If you want, I can give you a microbiological association. Which infections are killed by pyroptosis? It has been, it's predicted that they kill. Okay, let us first tell you how it is happening. Okay, it's simple method. What is happening once there is an infection? Once there is an infection, this infection will activate that is called node-like receptors. It will activate node-like receptors, which will finally lead to production of inflammasome. Inflammasome. You should remember this. Inflammasome. Okay. And finally, you will be having activation of caspase 1. You will be having activation of caspase 1. This caspase 1 will increase the levels of interleukin 1. Interleukin 1, and this interleukin 1 will cause what? Who causes interleukin 1? Who causes fever? Interleukin 1. Fever caused by interleukin 1. Okay. Now tell me one thing. If I have overactivity of this receptor, this is also asked. If I have overactivity, that is node receptor is working itself. It's not letting you give the stimulus. It is himself. He has gone mad. He is overactive, working more. What will happen? That condition is called autoinflammatory syndrome, or also known as periodic fever syndrome. Important question. Once you have infection, they will go to the receptors. The receptors are known as node-like receptors. Node-like receptors will form, finally lead to the formation of inflammasome, a sort of a body, a complex. That inflammasome will start the activation of caspase 1 and caspase 2. I haven't written caspase 1 and caspase 2. So caspase 1 and caspase 2. Sir, what is the function of caspase 1? Fever. What is the function of caspase 1? Fever. What is the function of caspase 2? Cell death. Cell death. What is the role of caspase 2? These are some choosy points that once you get a question in an objective exam, just tick it. That's why I'm giving you this. Okay, it's not a big topic. It's a small definition you come across. So it is a programmed cell death, but since I have release of interleukin-1, my brain goes towards the inflammatory side. That's why I use the word pro-inflammatory programmed cell death. See, apoptosis itself was not a pro-inflammatory type of death. It was a very nice, clean way of killing the cell. And cell was not letting the other police get informed that I am going to kill myself, isn't it? But in pyroptosis, I have these are basically what receptors. Do you know Nod-like receptors are intracellular receptors? That's why inflammasome will form. So intracellular receptors, okay, Nod-like receptors. Do we remember Toll-like receptor, TLR? Last time it was extracellularly present. Do we remember that receptor? Guys, do we remember that receptor pathway, extrinsic pathway? Do we remember that? Yeah, that was extrinsic pathway of apoptosis. Here I am talking about pyroptosis. So pyroptosis, you should remember, infection, intracellular receptor, which is a nod-like receptor, finally forms inflammasome. Inflammasome will produce two things, caspase 1, caspase 2. Caspase 1 is equal to interleukin 1, is equal to fever. Caspase 2 functions cell death. But right now what I am telling, I repeated this thing because you were asking, if this nod-like receptor is overactive, it's a disease, it should not be overactive. But if it is getting overactive, it will lead to a condition that is known as autoinflammatory syndrome. Autoinflammatory syndrome, also known as periodic fever syndrome. Periodic fever syndrome. These two things you will be able to see in the overactivity of NLR. How will you treat this patient? Simply, sir, give any interleukin-1 antagonist. Any one of you? What is the interleukin-1 antagonist? Interleukin-1 antagonist taught you already in pharmacology. Interleukin-1 antagonist. Fast answers. It's a beautiful answer. Anakinra. Anakinra is basically used in DASH. Anakinra is used in DASH. So anakinra is used here. Okay, very nice answer, Zaib. Very nice. Rheumatoid arthritis, he is using that. That's a DMARD therapy combination. Okay. So let us write here. Where should I write? Here? Okay, I should write here. So which drug will I give? Anakinra. Anakinra. Is it clear, guys? So if you are injecting this person with anakinra, he will block this what? What will I be able to do? Is it basically anakinra? Is it a blocker or is it an antibody? Is it a monoclonal antibody or blocker? There were so many also for the TNF also. There was what? Infliximab. Then there was etanercept. It's a blocker. It's an antagonist. It's an antagonist. Okay, guys. It's an antagonist. So you will be treating this patient with. So once you give an antagonist to the interleukin-1, what will happen? Fever will not happen. Fever will not happen. Sir, do we have cell swelling in this case in pyroptosis? Yes, we have cell swelling. Sir, do we have inflammation in this case? Yes, sir, have inflammation. Sir, can you please tell us, is the plasma membrane continuous or discontinuous? It is damaged. It is damaged. So is it now a pro-inflammatory or is it a clean way of killing? What do you think pyroptosis is? Guys, what do you think pyroptosis is? Pyroptosis is a pro-inflammatory programmed cell death. Pro-inflammatory programmed cell death. And going in the beautiful world of microbiology, very nicely explained in the microbiology that which infections should be responded by pyroptosis, which infections have been seen. It has been seen that they are responding the pyroptosis. Pyroptosis is responding them. It is that Salmonella typhimurium. Salmonella typhimurium. I can give another example. Legionella pneumophila. Legionella pneumophila. Legionella pneumophila. We are integrating everything, whatever we learn, pharma, patho, medicine, surgery, everything. That's what we need in the to give a best treatment to our patients. Candida albicans. Candida albicans. If I go into virology, influenza virus, adenoviruses. Okay, what else? Shigella. Shigella we forgot. Shigella, Salmonella is always our tip. Shigella which type? Flexneri. Not porphyry. Flexneri. Is it clear, guys? And you forgot one person causing blue pus, that is Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Is it clear, guys? These are the many examples I can give you. Remember this much first. Remember this much. Okay. So can we have, sir, any non-infectious too? This was, sir, to you went directly into the microbial list. Sir, is there any infection you can tell us, please, from the pathology? Which beautiful infection? Beautiful in the sense that we love to study the disease, their pathology, their significance, their prognosis, their treatment, and their prevention, immunization, everything we are reading. So in that way, I'm telling beautiful that which disease will be following the course of pyroptosis? Which disease? Myocardial infarction is also taken. MI can be taken in this. MI. IBD. What is IBD? Inflammatory bowel disease. Inflammatory bowel disease. What else? If I go into neurons, then it is NDD. What is NDD? Neurodegenerative diseases. Neurodegenerative diseases. What else? What else? If it is MI, then cerebellum should be cerebral ischemia, isn't it? And if it is MI, cerebral ischemia, or if there is any infectious cause, so I can say endotoxic shock. Endotoxic shock. Okay, guys. Endotoxic shock. Friends, okay, is it clear? Endotoxic shock. Is it clear? Are we clear with the process of pyroptosis? This is all you have to remember for pyroptosis, not more than this. Not important. Okay. Now there is another, you may have come across, if this was pyroptosis, there is another necroptosis. There is another necroptosis. What is necroptosis? Necroptosis means, see, apoptosis. Apoptosis, what you are using? Apoptosis, what you are using, guys? Apoptosis, what you are using? Enzymes. The enzymes of apoptosis are called dash. The enzymes of apoptosis are called dash. Beautiful answer. If I am not using caspases, can I say it is in the necrosis list? Can I say it is in the necrosis list? But I am telling you, I told you last time also in the caspase that it's not that every program, caspase is important for a programmed cell death. Programmed cell death can happen also. There can also be, I told you last time that if necrosis and apoptosis are happening together, we call it programmed necrosis. We call it programmed necrosis. We call it programmed death of necrosis, necroptosis. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you are seeing both the things, that necrosis and apoptosis happening at the same time, we call this condition as if necrosis plus apoptosis. Okay, let us bring the table more closer so that I can write comfortably. Yeah, necrosis plus apoptosis is equal to, what should I write? Programmed necrosis. Programmed necrosis. And necroptosis is itself caspase independent pathway, but a programmed one. So that's why we call it. It is a caspase independent pathway. Listen to my, see my pointer. Okay, see my pointer. Necrosis is a, guys, necrosis is a caspase independent pathway, and apoptosis is a caspase dependent pathway, but necroptosis is beginning with the caspase independent pathway. Necrosis is beginning with the caspase independent. That's why the word first used is necrop, caspase independent, but a programmed cell death, Is it, are we able to understand? Necrosis, caspase independent, programmed cell death. That's why we call it programmed necrosis. Can we see the pointer, guys? Is it clear? Okay. So this is what you have to understand. Now, sir, who is doing this? It should be, sir, a ligand and a receptor concept. Yes, it's a ligand and a receptor concept. Like we had FAS with FAS ligand receptor. That is, FAS was a receptor. FAS ligand was binding to that receptor. I had a FAS. And to FAS, I was having FAS ligand. This FAS ligand bound to this FAS was giving me an extrinsic pathway of receptor pathway of the apoptosis. Here I am telling you there is TNF. The same way we have TNF and we have TNF receptor, isn't it? I should write receptor here, and TNF is coming, and it's it's interacting with this receptor. Will lead to production of two things. It will first what will happen, once this interaction is happening, there is phosphorylation. There will be phosphorylation. Okay, and that will be done by receptor associated kinases. Receptor associated kinases will cause its phosphorylation and will finally lead to production of reactive oxygen species. Oh sir, this is a problem. Reactive oxygen species, that means be ready for the cell damage, be ready for the ATP synthesis decrease, be ready for the mitochondrial damage, be ready for the lysosomal damage. And once I have a cell membrane damage, I am starting the vicious cycle of inflammation. You think what is going to happen once inflammation starts? Starts from the neutrophils and can add in fibrosis that will depend on the severity and give you a dysfunctional organ. Okay, so remember, it's a caspase independent but a programmed cell death. Caspase independent but a programmed cell death. What is causing this? Who is causing this, sir? Once I had production of this reactive oxygen species, will damage the mitochondria, will damage the lysosome, will damage the cell membrane, finally gives me inflammation. Inflammation will induce necrosis. Sir, where will I see necroptosis? Best example I can give you is if I go to brain, Parkinsonism, it has been seen. Okay, Parkinsonism has necroptosis. Or there is, if I go to liver hepatology, then it is steatohepatitis. Okay, or CMV. Okay, because CMV is not, you can't kill it by another you can't kill it by caspases. Okay, because CMV is in itself inhibiting caspases. CMV inhibits caspases. I hope you have read in microbiology in your second year. CMV inhibits caspases. Okay, there is a big pathway actually in that. There is production of 6 flip proteins, and then there is then finally it binds to that caspase 8 and finally gives you no, it's not able to produce that apoptosis. Apoptosis is not able to kill it. So what will happen is you can kill it by necroptosis. Necroptosis. I think, this much is more than enough to remember for your license exam. And also this is just a definition so that you come across in the books also. And maybe questions have been asked in it. I don't know whether a question has been asked on this or not, but just I thought to give you this. Now see guys, we read two main, which is more proper and more important for us. That is necrosis and apoptosis. And we said both of them are those processes which can be caused by irreversible cell injury. I'm giving the review of whatever we have learned in the cell injury, the basics of cell adaptations. I know 5-6 lectures are with me. I haven't uploaded them because there is some, I'm busy with my work. I have to teach every subject, making videos on everything, study my own. No, there are so many things I have to do. So I'll be uploading that, don't worry. But what I do is, every day I keep uploading the video so that it does not get, collected in my bag, and then I have to one by one, upload them. So what is happening if I have irreversible cell injury, that can, that can be a necrosis, that can be an apoptosis. Apoptosis is a programmed cell death. Necrosis, what is the difference between the two, sir? Who can tell me the difference? What is the first difference you can think? What is the first difference you can think, guys? Yeah, what is the first difference you can see? Okay, physiological is apoptosis. Okay, very nice. That's pathological. What else? A reactive oxygen species. Okay. See, if we start, I think that to learn medicine, to learn any subject, there is a way that we give headings. Okay, there is a way that we give headings so that we remain oriented. Okay, so if I single or multiple cell size, yeah. Okay, I got it. So see, let me show you like this. Let me show you how to remember. So if I put two margins, necrosis, apoptosis. Necrosis and apoptosis. Necrosis, the causative factor. What causes necrosis? It's a gross, please write whatever I'm writing, gross irreversible cell injury. Gross irreversible cell injury. But apoptosis is just a minor cellular damage. Okay, I can say it's a subtle way. It's a subtle. It's a subtle damage. And mostly your words, physiological one. Mostly a physiological programmed cell death. Okay, fine. Is it clear? Okay. Once you now apoptosis, it's not strictly that I will say, sir, it is physiological. It can be pathological too, which I have told you that certain organisms are increasing the rate of apoptosis. So that thing you remember, I think that needs not to be spoken. So apoptosis, physiological, pathological, necrosis, always pathological. Like that, remember, if you want to remember in short. Now, once you are, the difference I want to tell you is, once you have a cytoskeletal protein injury, or you have, suddenly you got MI. Okay, suddenly the heart tissue is not getting perfused. So you are at a state of ischemia, and finally leads to the hypoxia in the tissue, and the cell is that starting with that process of necrosis. So that means once you are destroying, or you are changing, you are disturbing the body's normal functioning, will induce necrosis. Once you destroy, disturb, malfunction the homeostasis, which is normally happening in the body or in that cell or tissue, if you are doing any mess with that, will lead to necrosis. So that means cellular homeostasis malfunction. But see, inverse thing will happen here. In apoptosis, In apoptosis, you want a normal functioning cell. Basically, the principle of the body is to have a normal functioning cell. That means if I kill one cell, then I will give birth to another cell. That cell will be normal cell, and that normal cell will follow the rules, the constitution of the body. That will follow the constitution of the body, isn't it? Whatever programming has been done from its genetical makeup will be doing that thing only. It won't be doing anything against. So every cell in the body has to follow the constitution of the body. Fine. Second thing, apoptosis is important for that constitution. Apoptosis is important for that homeostasis. So that means here I was saying, if you are disturbing the cellular homeostasis, will start necrosis. So that means apoptosis is important even for that necrosis part, isn't it? I will be preventing that necrosis also. I will be preventing that necrosis also if I am doing a very nice tracked way of apoptosis. So development, homeostasis, it's important that you do apoptosis. So apoptosis is important. Apoptosis is important for my homeostasis. Apoptosis, it's only after the cell, and also in case of tumors. In case of tumors, if I want to kill the cell, I should start the apoptosis. That's more important for me, because tumor cells are consuming all that nutrients. Tumor cells are producing neovascularizations. Tumor cells are producing new pathways. I don't want these pathways to happen at the cost of my body energy requirements. Okay. Basically, if you go morphologically, if I go into the morphology, you know what I see in the morphology is I see more amount of the cells which are neighboring cells. This is called contiguous cells are involved. Contiguous cells are involved. This is morphology, I can say. Morphologically, there are contiguous cells are affected. But if I see apoptosis, it may be a single cell or a cluster of cells. I will understand. Okay. If I go under the microscope and I'm looking everything, I saw the contiguous cells. I see once I took this one cell, I magnified the image. I was able to appreciate increased cytoplasmic eosinophilic nature. Increased cytoplasmic eosinophilic nature, or this is in short called eosinophilia. I can see cytoplasmic eosinophilia because the proteins have been destroyed. The proteins have been denatured. The proteins have been denatured. While if I see under the microscope an apoptotic cell, I will be seeing cytoplasmic shrinking, and hexes, or I can say fragmentation. I will understand, guys. Sir, do we have nuclear condensation also in necrosis? Yes, we have nuclear condensation. Sir, do we have chromatin condensation in apoptosis? Yes, we have. But necrosis is a progressive event. Necrosis is a progressive event. That is, it will progress, start with nuclear condensation, finally will lead to disappearance of nuclei. Same fragmentation will happen in what? Cytoplasm. Here I am more concerned about nucleus because nucleus is getting progressively condensed. Progressively condensed nuclear material. I think we have talked everything in the first videos. Go to the apoptosis, necrosis video. I have talked in detail. Here I am just building a relationship between the two. Whatever we have learned, we are revising. This is actually a revision video. But we are making the differences which will be important from your entrance point of view. They will see what is present, what is not present. Okay. Sir, necrosis, can we see any tissue building? Can we see tissue architecture? Is the tissue architecture preserved or destroyed? I told you in the early stages of coagulative necrosis, there will be preservation of tissue architecture. Early, I am using the word early stages of coagulative necrosis, there will be preservation of tissue architecture. This is important for necrosis. So preservation of tissue architecture in early necrosis, guys. Is it clear? They may ask you a question on morphological pattern. They may ask you a question on etiology. They know that you know it's clean way, it's not clean way. Mostly they will be asking you morphological changes and also some biochemical changes. So who can tell me the biochemical changes happening? Who can tell me? If I take the biochemistry, if I go into biochemistry, who has read genetics? Guys, biochemistry, what will happen in necrosis? Guys, there is no gene required for doing anything. I don't want to produce any protein. I don't want to do any genetic work. So that means I don't have to produce any gene. That means I have a death, which I don't need to work for. It's just happening passively. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything. It's a passive form of death. I don't have to do anything. Just cell will die itself. Okay. And you know, if I go into the DNA is destroyed to such a grave level. The DNA is destroyed to such a grave level. The DNA is fragmented to such a grave level that under the electrophoresis, I'm able to appreciate a smudge pattern. Under the electrophoresis, I'm able to appreciate a smudge pattern. So DNA fragmentation is so grave. DNA fragmentation is so grave that I am able to appreciate smudge. I hope you know smudge. Smudge pattern on electrophoresis. Once we don't have time to write, what we do, we make lines like this. Electrophoresis. Isn't it? Isn't it, guys? Okay. Because we don't waste time in making beautiful diagrams. We don't have time. No time. We take a picture, learn it, just done. That's it. Okay. So smudge pattern. But sir, what about apoptosis? Sir, apoptosis is a caspase dependent pathway. We need enzymes. Enzymes is a protein. Protein is made by DNA. DNA makes RNA. RNA makes protein. Central dogma of molecular biology. DNA makes RNA. RNA makes protein. DNA to RNA, RNA to protein. This is central dogma. Central dogma of molecular biology. So that means I should need a protein. Protein is caspase. That means I will need a DNA. That means I will need an active synthesis. That is, I mean, this was passive, then this should be active. This is an active form of cell death. Cell is active. It does not want to let the other cells know that I am going to die. Otherwise, they will start inflammation. The local macrophages will first arrest them that you are inflamed. Once you have an outlaw, in your home or in your colony, you would be the first person to go against him. You won't be accepting his deeds, isn't it? Whatever actions he does, if he's an outlaw, that is, he's not following the laws of that society or that country, you will take the action against him. That's what is happening. It's a cellular level, same thing is happening. Hey guys. So this form of cell death is the active form of cell death that is requiring that genetic expression, that is requiring your protein synthesis, that is requiring the formation of pro-apoptotic bodies. And DNA fragmentation is not that bad. Cell is cleanly killing itself. DNA fragmentation is not bad. Nucleosomal boundaries are typical. They are typical. Nucleosomal boundaries. I don't know whether you have read nucleosomal boundaries or not. So at the nucleosomal boundaries. So Iqbal, what is nucleosomal boundary? What is nucleosomal boundary? This nucleosomal boundary, here you will be having a DNA fragmentation which is regular. DNA fragmentation is regular. Okay. DNA fragmentation will be regular at the nucleosomal boundaries. That is why I am appreciating a laddered pattern in the electrophoresis. Laddered pattern, guys. Laddered pattern. Laddered pattern, apoptosis. That is regular pattern, nice pattern. That is, sir, actively it is killing itself. DNA fragmentation, smudge, so badly, so haphazardly, so ruthlessly killed. Smudge pattern. DNA smudge, necrosis. DNA stepladder, apoptosis. I don't think there should be any confusion while you're attempting an MCQ. Should be tick and go home. Tick, come home back. That's it. Okay, guys. Is there any doubt? Do we have any doubt, guys? So which enzymes did you see in necrosis? If I say about the RNA, RNA will be producing enzymes, that is protein. All enzymes are protein, but all proteins are not enzymes. So protein enzyme, which enzyme? It's phospholipase, it's protease, it's endonuclease. These are the enzymes which are being produced in the cell necrosis. But apoptosis, I am producing caspases, I am producing executioner caspases, I am producing proteases, but they are that executioner ones. They are not causing this type of, they are proteases, they are endonucleases, but they are under the category of executioner caspases. So I have initiator caspases, I have executionary caspases. I have taken a biochemical link also, okay, so that they can ask you a question in the genetics, in chemistry, biochemistry. So they may ask about apoptosis, that. Okay. So is there any genetic involvement in cell necrosis? No genetic involvement in cell necrosis. Apoptosis, yes, genetic involvement. Sir, pro-apoptotic genes, anti-apoptotic gene, Bach and Bach, pro-apoptotic genes, BCL2, anti-apoptotic genes, BCL2, anti-apoptotic genes. I have crystal clearly tried to make you understand. Is there any doubt? So here I have Bach and Bach. Here I have here I have BCL2. So three of them are in this category. It will now depend which is getting activated, but under the category of apoptosis. Necrosis, no genetics, sir. We did not know any gene about it. Okay. So finally, what you will be seeing, which process is active? Apoptosis is active. A for apoptosis, A for active. Cell shrinks in apoptosis. Stepladder pattern is seen in apoptosis. Inflammation not seen in apoptosis. Plasma membrane continuous in apoptosis. Necrosis, passive process. Necrosis, plasma membrane distortion, plasma membrane discontinuity. DNA material on electrophoresis of necrosis, smear pattern, smudge pattern, smear pattern, smudge pattern. Which group of cells affected in necrosis? Contiguous group of cells affected in necrosis. Which group of cells affected in apoptosis? Single or cluster? Single or cluster? Is there any doubt, guys? We have, I think, explained everything about apoptosis and necrosis. I hope you have enjoyed this topic. See the first part of apoptosis. I have given everything in that topic. It's, I think, a 1 hour and 23 minutes video. Watch that video. After watching that video, please listen to this video for a review. Once you finish all the cell adaptations, please listen to this video for your review before you enter the exam hall. Means before your exam days. It's just a review video to make you know that oriented. Okay. So please subscribe to this channel. I will be uploading more videos on pathology. I hope at least those 13-14 chapters of pathology which are really needed at this level of coronavirus epidemic, because you are not able to attend the medical school. So just helping you out with all the things which can help you. So thank you very much and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.